Today, I'm going to be showing you guys the 3 best big man builds that you can make in Season 2 for NBA 2K23. So unlike a lot of the builds on my channel, these are going to be very competitively viable builds. We're going to be showing 2 6'9" today, which I highly recommend that you use as a big man in the park or as a power forward build in the rec or pro-am settings. And I'm going to be showing you a 7'1" popper, which I highly recommend as a center build. All right, so this first build right here is going to be a very good center build that you can use in the park, and you can use it really well as a power forward in the rec center or in a pro-am 5v5 setting. So when it comes to this build, we're going to make it at the height of 6'9". Now let me explain why I went with the height of 6'9", because a lot of people are going to think that's too short, especially with the people that are subs to my channel. Now understand, anything taller than 6'9", you don't get clamps. And I feel like when the spacing is a lot bigger, especially when you're playing 3v3 in the park or 2v2 in the park where there's a lot of space on the court, you need to make sure you have high perimeter defense and that you have clamps on your build. So this build's gonna get clamps on silver. And the second most important thing in gameplay for 2K23 is steals. Like it or not, steals are broken this year, so we're gonna make sure that this build gets a 90 steal, which will get a silver glove and gold interceptor. So for the body settings, we went with a height of 6'9", weight 226 pounds, 7'7" wingspan, and a built body shape. Now taking a look at this build, when it comes to the finishing, the really only redeeming quality is that you get that 86 driving dunk, which will get you limitless takeoff on gold. The close shot and the driving layup are nothing to be super happy about, or the standing dunk, but this build is going to be very defensive heavy, and it's going to be a really nice spot up shooter. And when it comes to finishing at the rim, you're just going to hope that you get an open lane to the basket to get off a driving dunk. Now if you want to sacrifice some driving dunk to increase that close shot, you absolutely can, but I didn't find that to be necessary. So now moving on to the shooting, you're going to have an 83-point rating mixed with a 69 mid-range shot, which is going to get you 16 shooting badges. The most important ones to have in this situation are definitely going to be catch and shoot on silver and claymore on gold. Those are absolutely necessary spot up badges this year. Coming down to the playmaking, you're going to get a 76 pass accuracy, which is what you need to get break starter on gold. And then you also unlock the LeBron James passing style at that 75 rating, which is one of the best, if not the best, passing styles in the game. And then defense. Now defense is definitely where all of the defense is where most of the attributes went on this build. Your interior defense is a 93. That's going to get you post move lockdown on Hall of Fame. And like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, you're going to get an 86 perimeter defense, which will get you that clamps on silver, as well as a 90 steal, which will get you glove on silver, as well as interceptor on gold. And then things get even better as we keep on going. As you can see, you get a 99 block on this build, which is going to get you that Hall of Fame anchor, as well as a 99 offensive rebound, which is going to get you that Hall of Fame rebound chaser. Now I ended up going with having a super high offensive rebound instead of a defensive rebound, because when it comes to playing in a competitive scene, offensive rebounds are going to be huge. You want to be able to try and snag as many of those as possible to give your team second chance opportunities when it comes to scoring. Not only that, but it's also much harder to get offensive rebounds than defensive rebounds, especially if you're playing as a stretch big who's going to be a popper in the corner. And then coming down to the physicals, everything's pretty well balanced down here. You're going to get a 78 speed, a 67 acceleration, 86 strength, which is going to get you that brick wall on gold. So we have some decent strength on this build. So after that workout, it'll be 90 strength, which is really nice to see. 75 vertical and an 85 stamina to finish out this build. When it comes to the takeovers that I recommend that you use on this build, I feel like the best option for your primary takeover is going to be paint intimidation, and then secondary takeover is limitless range. The options that you have do vary though. You can use any of the sharpshooting, lockdown, rim protecting, or glass cleaning takeovers. So now your build is complete, and you're going to get the player comparisons of Jaren Jackson Jr., Draymond Green, and Dave DeBusschere. And you're going to get the build name of a glass cleaning lockdown, which I'm not even going to lie is a little bit catfish build, because you still have an 83 pointer on this build. You can absolutely spark like crazy shooting wise. And this is a very fantastic build that I highly recommend if you need a competitively viable big man build for the park, or a solid build for the rec center that you want to use at the power forward position. Now moving on to this second build, this is still going to be a defensive heavy build that you can run as a big man in the park, but it can also dribble and get its own bucket as well, as you're going to see later on. We ended up making this build at the small forward position so we can lower the weight just enough to get a 75 speed with ball, which will allow us to unlock the Michael Jordan dribble style. So as you can see right here, the height we ended up going with 6'9", weight 203 pounds with a 7'7" wingspan and a compact body shape. When it comes to the finishing, this is definitely the weakest part of the build. You're going to get that 80 driving dunk, which will get you limitless takeoff on silver and get you access to some pretty decent dunking packages, which which include quick drops off one, Scottie Pippen, straight arm tomahawks, as well as front clutches, which are some of the most unblockable dunk packages in the game. Moving on to shooting, you're going to get a 65 mid-range shot and an 83-point shot, which is going to get you 14 shooting badges, so 2 less than the previous build, but you can add on some extra badge points to get it to the 16 by doing the Welcome to the League storyline, which will get you 4 extra badges to put anywhere you want. Moving on to the playmaking, the pass accuracy is still at a 76, which will get you break starter on gold, as well as the LeBron James passing style. And then the new change with this build is you're going to get an 85 ball handle, which will get you a lot of new dribble animations plus gold quick first step. And then to go along with that, we're going to get you that 75 speed with ball, which will allow you to unlock the Michael Jordan dribble style, which is the best dribble style for taller guards and decent sized bigs in the game. Moving on to the defense, and again, this is going to be the category we've spent the most attributes on. You're going to get an 82 interior defense, 86 perimeter defense, and a 90 steal. That's going to be similar from the previous build. You're going to get that silver clamps plus the silver glove and gold interceptor. The other thing that's the exact same from the previous build is you're going to get that 99 block, which will get you Hall of Fame anchor. I feel like having that Hall of Fame anchor is way more important than having a 99 offensive or defensive rebound rating to get you that rebound chaser on Hall of Fame. Hall of Fame anchor is just an absolutely insane badge this year, and I feel like it is in the same tier as glove when it comes to some of the best badges in the game. But speaking of rebounding, you're not going to be too bad on that end either. We're going to get you that 94 offensive rebound, which will get you gold rebound chaser as well as Hall of Fame box out beast. And then the defensive rebound is a 79. If you want to increase that, you absolutely can, but I feel like when it comes to defensive rebounding, positioning matters more than anything else, and you still will have gold rebound chaser. When it comes to the physicals, you're going to have a 72 speed, 78 acceleration, 76 strength, 75 vertical, and an 85 stamina, which are all pretty solid stats. On the previous build, we ended up having 86 strength, so there's definitely a bit of a drop off there, but I've played on builds with lower than a 76 strength this year, and I've had no problem stopping post scorers in the paint because that is more about having high interior defense and good positioning. So now when this build is done, you have some takeover options. They're going to be very similar to the previous one. You're going to have sharp shooting, lockdown, rim protecting, and glass cleaning takeover options available. I ended up going with the primary takeover box out wall since the biggest weakness on defense for this build that we lost from the previous build is rebounding. So we ended up going with a primary takeover of box out wall and a secondary takeover of limitless range, which is the exact same from the previous build. So now this build is complete and you're going to come out of the My Player Builder and get the player comparisons of Gerald Wallace, OG Anunoby, and Andrew Wiggins. And you're going to get the player name of a 3-and-D wing, but you can definitely start this build at center in the park, and in the rec center you can start this at the 4, which is the power forward position. But now let's move on to the real center build on this list, which is going to be my 7-1 popper, which I highly recommend you use at center for your 5v5 scenario. So this right here is probably going to be the best option for a big man build when it comes to making a build for the 5v5. So this is going to be a great option in either Pro-Am or Rec. Obviously, we're making this at the center position. And when it comes to the body settings, we're going to go with the height of 7'1", weight 235 pounds, wingspan of 7'1", and a compact body shape is what I ended up going with, but you can definitely go with something more like defined or built if that's something you want to go with. Now, when it comes to the finishing on this build, you're going to get an 80 close shot, an 80 standing dunk, and an 80 driving dunk. Now, this is a nice threshold for a lot of these attribute ratings because that 80 driving dunk is going to get you all of the dunk packages that I mentioned previously in the last build, and that 80 standing dunk is going to get you the pro big man contact dunks, which are going to be some really nice standing dunk packages that you can use on this build. Next, when it comes to the shooting, you're going to get a 64 mid-range and a 76 3-point rating, and with that 76 3-point rating, you're going to get Claymore on gold. Now, currently, you only have 12 badge points spent in this category, which means you cannot use any tier 3 badges. So if you want to do that, you're either going to have to put more points into shooting, or you're going to have to use all 4 badges that you get from the Welcome to the League quest to put on shooting in order to use those tier 3 badges. Moving on to playmaking, it's going to be the exact same we've done for all the other builds. 76 pass accuracy to get that LeBron James passing style, as well as break starter on gold. And then coming down to the defense, we're gonna have an 88 interior defense, which will get us post move lockdown on gold, a 58 perimeter defense, and a 62 steal. I'll get to why I chose those numbers specifically in a second. 99 block, 99 offensive rebound to get you that Hall of Fame anchor and Hall of Fame rebound chaser, and an 84 defensive rebound, which is the lowest you can put it while still getting that 99 O board. Now, as you can see right here, the reason why these numbers are at 58 and 62 for perimeter defense and steal is because if I lower any of these one more, you're going to lose an entire badge. So that's going to keep you at that 30 defensive badge rating, which I think is pretty solid on this type of build. Now moving down to the physicals, a 67 speed, 52 acceleration, a 76 strength, which will get you brick wall on silver, as well as a 65 vertical and an 85 stamina. Now, really important thing, I understand a lot of people do not like having low strength on their center builds, but I think 76 strength is absolutely viable because after your workouts, that's going to be 80 strength. And then secondly, when it comes to defending those post scores, you have a really high interior defense on this build, and having a high interior defense grants you extra resistance when people are backing you down in the post. This has been tested by 2K Labs as well as 2K Toots. So having an 80 strength with high interior defense, as well as having gold post move lockdown and silver brick wall, that should be more than enough to stop any inside bigs that you end up going up against. So this build is completely done. I recommend going with box out wall and limitless range on this build, but you can definitely go with paint intimidation if you want to. I feel like that's the best rim protecting takeover. And then this build is complete. You're gonna come out of the My Player Builder and get the player comparisons of Marcus Camby, Miles Turner, and Mitchell Robinson, and you're going to get the build name of Defensive Anchor, which I feel like is a little bit of a catfish because, well, you can shoot on this build. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and that's gonna be it. I'm out. Peace.